Hey guys, what's up? I'm doing my daily, or not daily, but my weekly drive to school. And I'm about to turn. Why did I start rolling the video now when I'm gonna turn? Hold on one second. Let me make a quick turn in front of this truck, because I'm not gonna be stuck behind a truck. Okay. Alright. This video is from my girl, Tastiredbone. If you're not subscribed to the review queen, actually, she and Lulu Matu, in my opinion, they're like review queens. Like, I love watching their reviews, and even though we have different texture hair, Tastiredbone and Lulu Matu, because like my hair is much coarser, but I trust their review, and I've tried stuff that they've tried, and you know, it's worked. Only because I use my judgment too, in terms of, you know, what they're saying. So if they're saying something is, you know, like too not as thick or thin or whatever, so I kind of look at their reviews and judge what I gotta do. But I am digressing. I wanted to make this video for my girl Tastiredbone, because the other day I had made a video and I had put it out there if you wanted to ask questions about hair, like a question and answer video, and she left a question that I wanted to address just for her, and I had actually recorded it, but I'm re-recording it because I got an email yesterday after I had released that video about my girlfriend who, you know, is a single mother and dating and stuff like that. And the email, the gist of the email is basically saying that, you know, when you're married, it's very hard to see where other people are coming from. And I would disagree. And you know why I would disagree with that? And I had to let them know in the comments as well. And most of you guys don't know. And the statement I'm going to say, my husband hates me saying it the way that I say it, but it's just true. Okay? I was a single mother, and my husband, which means that my husband, because you could be a single mother and then he could have been, but my husband is not my daughter's real father, biological father. And trust me, my husband hates when I say that, because he views Simone as his, which then, you know, is a good thing, because, you know, I could serve as an inspiration out there that you can wait for a guy that's going to come into your life that could see your daughter as their child. Okay? And it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens a lot. Okay? So yes, I put it out there so y'all know. I've made videos before and I mentioned it, or in comments to people I've mentioned it, because I've watched certain things on YouTube that I disagree with. And people think that, oh, you know, it's easy to say when you're married, you know, and listen, everybody, you can look at my life and think my life is perfect or was perfect. Nobody's life is perfect and was perfect. And if you have dated, you know, several times and have never gotten your heart broken, consider yourself lucky. Okay? Or if you have dated and a guy told you that you're not the one and you didn't have a kid for him, consider yourself lucky. Move on. Deuces to the guy, because there are other guys out there that will make you believe in fairy tales. Okay? So, and I'm not talking about fairy tales as the way Disney describe fairy tales. I'm talking about fairy tales the way Bible describes fairy tales. Okay? Because, you know, marriage and relationship is hard, and I've said that several times. So to my girl Tastiredbone, how do you stop loving a guy who you've dated for 10 years and, you know, told you he didn't want to marry you or wanted you to convert to his religion, and, you know, after, you know, having his kid, he can easily walk away and get with somebody else, and, you know, is gonna marry this girl? How do you get over that guy? I could say time. It's very difficult. I have been there. Okay, I made mention of, I've dated not a lot. Oh, what was that? A deer run across the road? Thank you, Jesus. I wasn't up further up the road. These animals in these country roads are crazy, okay? And I had a type of mentality on how I thought relationships should be. It was not like that. I left it alone, moved on, and actually, Beyonce had a song that says, best thing I've never had. Sometimes you gotta thank your lucky stars, okay? Sometimes you gotta thank your lucky stars, because years down the road, when you are going to have the retrospect of looking back, you're gonna be like, God, I didn't see it then, but that was a major blessing, okay? That was a major blessing to have either me walk away from the person, because I think it was a kind of thing of, like a mutual thing. But first of all, I didn't know that I was going to be in a relationship at that time the way that I have now, okay? When you're going through breakup or heartbreak, you feel like, oh gosh, I don't think that is anything else better out there. Oh my God, whatever it is, how could this happen to me? And all these different things that our mind take us there. Sometimes it is for our benefit. Sometimes, and I'm telling you, because I was in that position where when you have a baby basically, and you have this certain expectation for your life, like being married and having kids and having the white picket fence, and you want it to be in that order. Sometimes life, especially when we don't take the heed, okay? I'm a Christian, so I'm coming from a Christian perspective. We have warnings in our lives. God gives us warnings, but we do not listen. We don't take heed, and we get into situations, and sometimes that's what happened to me. I had warning signs, and I did not take heed to it. So there were consequences of my actions, and I'm not saying that that's what your situation is, because sometimes you can be deceived. But I had my warning signs, and I did not take the heed. And going through it at that time, I couldn't give the responsibility of certain things that was happening to me unto myself. Like, there were things that I did. And so I went through a lot of, when I told you guys that, there was a three-year period where I had to reflect on me and take time on myself and learning, and learning myself and, reteaching myself certain things. That's what that period was for. And, waiting on God to put the person in my life, even though, my husband and our family go back 20 years. I didn't meet my husband till later on. And when I met him, we were friends, so I probably wasn't even ready to date him at the time too, in my years of being by myself, because it was after that my eyes was open, like, the guy that you're supposed to be with is right there in front of you all this time, so how I had to learn to love myself in order to stop loving that person. Okay, I had to learn to love myself, and that's one lesson that I would never forget. And it's a lesson that I've always given. I've given my girlfriends, I give to my kids in school that start dating at at the end of the year, they come crying. You have to love yourself more than how and I don't think you can truly love somebody unless you love yourself. That's another thing too. But I had to learn to love myself. And in the process, with time, I got over that person, and I realized what a blessing. Yes, I had a kid with this person, but it was such a blessing for me, because guess what? I probably would have, we probably would have gotten married just because we had a kid, and we would have been divorced because we would have been miserable together. And guess what? I had the better end of the stick, because at the time when you think you had the better end of the stick, I did. Okay, because guess what? Now I have a man in my life that loves me. So when I tell you that relationships isn't perfect, and my husband is not perfect by any means, okay? So it's better to move on. Most of the time, you know, things happen to us. It's just better to just take heed and just move on, because there is somebody out. When I talk about it, I'm telling you, you got somebody out there. When you're ready, when God placed them in your life, you're gonna be like, dang, what was I thinking? I put my business out there to kind of help you, and I'm sure I could probably help a lot of other people. I'm jumbling, I'm driving, I'm not making any sense, I'm jumping all over the place. But how do you stop loving someone who does not love you, who are breaking your heart, ripped it to shreds, you know? And you're like, because I went through a depressive period as well, because how can I love someone who did not love me? Like, why, you know? I thought I was better than that. I've broken so many hearts myself, because so many dudes wanted to get with me, and I was like, nah. You know? So consider yourself lucky out there, again, if you've never had your heart broken. But how do you get over that heartbreak? 1, time. 2, love yourself more than the situation, because most of the time when it's a breakup, it's because that person did not do you right. That person did not treat you the way that you deserve to be treated. So, you know, I mean, I'm sorry you're in this situation, my girl, because I could tell, like, I don't know you personally. You're a beautiful person. I know you through talking about your hair and through review, but you have a light that, you know, you can't help but it shine, you know, and you have a laugh that I laugh when you laugh. I think it's, you know, you're a beautiful person inside and out. So I would just say, and it's easy, and I know it's a hard thing to say, but I would say, let that next girl have that problem. Okay, let that next girl have that problem.